Hello, I'm going to show you my pocket rack. So what this is a ABS plastic. This is the first version, ABS plastic. And I cut these little cleats on along the edge. The cleat configuration, the way they're set up here, has been tried and tested a bunch of times. So this is the best pattern I came up with. You can see it's about the same size as an Altoids tin. In fact, it's almost the exact same size as Altoid tin, maybe a little bit wider. But I think you can pack a lot more onto this little card than you could into an Altoids tin. So, and then the second version here is a Kydex plastic instead of the ABS. A friend of mine gave me a bunch of panels and I thought I would try it. It's a little bit thinner. Again, the same cleat pattern. I changed it up a little bit based on my experience with the first ABS plastic one. And it's just about little over 4 inches on the height of it. And I think the width was about 3. Altoids box is just under 4 inches, so it's a little bit larger than that in the second version. And a critical part of this is the elastic bands that are used to hold everything on. So I've tried quite a few things: poly bands, black ones, clear ones, silicone O-rings, black rubber bands, Ranger bands. I've had a huge thing. So what I've done is stuck to the clear poly bands, and what I'm going to show you here is with the bundle. I bundle them together so in case one fails, I have backups that are already built into the band. So I take a zip tie, a small one, micro zip tie, and I bundle them together, pull it through, tight as it'll go, and it creates a small handle for me to grab onto the bands with because the bands are kind of sticky and they adhere to the objects that they're um, holding down. You'll see here is it gets a little stuck, so then I clip it off with cutters. And the thing, just be real careful when you do this because they shoot off like a rocket. Um, and that's what the bundle looks like. You can see how the handle works on it pretty well. It's very effective. So here's how the tie down works with the bands. Get the card, stick it in different parts of the cleat with your thumb underneath it. In this case, you grab a little tiny Swiss Army knife, stick it under your thumb, pull the rubber band over, cross it over once, and stick it in the opposing cleat. And that's it. Have to do a little adjusting, and you're done. It holds it in place pretty securely. Very easy to pull off. Just grab a little handle, pull it off, pull out your item. If you want it, you can just put the band back on and just store it that way. Easy to pull off. Put your thumb back into the band again, put the item under your thumb, pull the band across, and it's back in place. Very quick. So this has a couple other items that are stacked on top of each other, and it's a flashlight I'm tying down, and it's done. Pretty easy. And you can see on all of these there are multiple bands. So this is a charging cable, same thing. Flip it over, tied down, it's done. You can see too that I'm tying them all down on one side. So when you tie it down, all the handles are on one side. When you tie the opposing side, they'd be in the opposite side. And this is it. It weighs about, in this configuration, probably about 8 ounces. Just showing that items come out really easily. They don't interfere with each other. So each item has its own little bay. And you can use multiple bays if you want for one item. So the back of the rack, you can also use as a tie down as well. Again, this is using the opposing side. So you'll see on this side, those two that you see, those are for the back of the rack. And the 4 you see, or 5 you see on this side, are for the front of the rack. And you'll have to just pull those off, and you can pull off whatever you want. Four inches, 2.5 inches, and looks like about an inch and a half or an inch thick. That's it. And this one I think weighed about 10 to 11 ounces with everything. And it doesn't come off. You can shake the thing. It's solid as can be. This is everything that was on that rack that you were just looking at, the little 4 inch by 2.5 inch card. So I started playing around with it and I thought, what if I add other things to it? So in this case, we're adding a big tin to the base here. Just line it up. It doesn't interfere with the little pull tabs. Just stick it down. You can still pull off those pull tabs pretty easily. And you can just load it up like a regular tin. So if you wanted to do the Altoids thing underneath it, you can do that. And it'll fit in your pocket. It won't be particularly comfortable because that's a pretty thick tin, but you can. Mostly what I do with these tins when I have it configured like this is put it into a pouch, an EDC pouch, with other tools. But in this case, it's just it acts as more like an organizer than anything else. But with the thinner tins on here, you can get a lot more in here. I was thinking putting like a little batteries in here, lithium polymer battery in there, all kinds of things you can do with the tins. It's about an inch and a half thick, inch and a quarter. That's about it. That's a configuration I use most of the time is this one. And it sticks in my pocket and sticks in there pretty easy. Not super heavy. And that's what I've got so far. So I'm looking for some help with ideas of what else we can do with this. I've got a couple of things brewing in the future. I'm going to be working on the Kydex racks and see what we can do with these orange silicone O-rings I found. They're 2mm. They're perfect size. They seem to be very elastic and hold down really well. They don't wear out like the polybands do, which is fantastic. You can see I also started configuring them to act as a wallet, which was kind of fun to play with. Anyway, if you have some ideas, I want to post them down in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. That's about it. Take care. Bye.